All right, let's bring him up. My bag. All right. There you go. What's up, Haas? Talk to him, baby. You know, I
Good, man.
ride, son. I get on my ride. You understood that, though?
Oh, definitely. It's that's why I was calling you because a lot of people don't really understand, the dynamics that was going on, with like what the court case was Diddy. Like he beat the bigger charge, but
Yeah.
he still got 10 years on two accounts hanging over his head. That's a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And at Diddy's age, him being 55 years old, they smack him with 10 years and they don't run it concurrent, they run it consecutive. That's 20 years in jail. That's
Mm-hmm.
a death sentence for that man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree. But the thing is with that is with those type of cases, they're gonna run the two of them what they call concurrent. So if he's looking at 10 years for each one, or 10 years and 15 years for each one, then the 15 years will supersede the 10, and that's all he'll get is the one time. They call that running concurrent. But either way, like you said, he's 55 now, so he gonna come home a senior citizen. You think he's still gonna be partying and carrying on? Somebody let me know what's going on, man. You know?
Well,
But
the one thing that being in the penitentiary and getting up there in age, a lot of people don't know diabetes and other sicknesses start to creep up in our bodies, and eating that food in there for 10 years is definitely a death sentence. It's no joke. It's a lot of brothers in there that's real sickly once you hit a certain age. You can work out all you want, but you can't. You know what I mean? The plaque around the heart, you can't get that up out of there. Heart disease, heart failure. When we get in, we like make a long story short. With all you dudes out there, man, some of us we still feel like we get busy and what I mean. We'll still put that work in, not realizing that if you let somebody trick you out of your freedom at the age of 40, 50 years old, and you got to sit in front of that judge and you got to be sentenced by that judge, you're gonna find out the hard way that you let somebody rob you out of the rest of your life. We got to stay focused out there, stick and move. It's a lot of suckers out there that's miserable, and misery love company. And it's a whole lot of people sitting up in them jail cells just wishing that they could get one more chance.
all right. Being that you mentioned jail cell, right? This how we gonna go. When I ride, I'm gonna pull you off. When you ride, I'm gonna get the hell off and give you the floor. But I'm gonna give you a good one, right? Check this out, House. Tell me if you can get any crazier than this, right? I just got the ADX in 1996, and they brought a white dude in. I'm even gonna say his name because I did a show about him that's on my prison chasing on Unique Make Audio Prison Story. Dickie Lynn, right? Dickie Lynn is the greatest man of all time to me. Dickie Lynn was caught up for his case was he was bringing cocaine over to like New Orleans from Mexico doing our run when we was doing our thing. So these are my comrades. That's why a lot of these dudes don't understand us because they're not from our era. You understand what I'm saying? You Zulu Nation, you original New York. They don't understand that. We talking about 4 and 5 decades ago, Hans, because I watch what's going on. They coming at you and not knowing that you official, that you walked the streets when it was dark, when there was no street lights. The biggest thing I noticed when I came home out of prison was that the buildings in New York City had windows. Yo, windows in buildings in New York? Yo, Harlem, everything was burnt out and wooden frames. Right or wrong, House?
Yeah, when we was wolves, man. Sometimes when I look at the old videos of the old Bronx and how the Bronx used to be burnt down, like this newer generation don't even know and realize that the Bronx used to look like a third world country. It was real. It was different, man. New York was different. The field was different. Everything about us was different. You know, to grow up in the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s in New York City, the crack era, the dope era, it was totally different. It did. Matter of fact, New York doesn't even feel the same as it did then. I mean, the violence is still there, but it doesn't. It don't have that. New York don't have that old feeling.
All right,
It
stop. But
was.
hold up. Let me ride back. Yo, Haas. Me and him could kick all day because we just ride off at any topic, and this is how a conversation with me and Haas be. But I want y'all to understand this. I'm trying to take you somewhere, Haas. Where I'm taking you is that we survived the streets back in the 80s, the 90s, and I even touched the 70s from the mid 70s. So when they look at those videos and they say, how could they have lived like that back then? You know what I mean? They need to ask themselves, how did we survive over there being poor back then? the choices we had to make back then. I see you smiling. You got the floor. Go ahead. I'm gonna give it to
Now
you.
you that song, what's that song? It's like a jungle sometimes. It make me wonder how I keep from going under. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. That was the mindset. It's
All
like a
right.
jungle outside.
But you see, I take you on a ride and on a zone. This is how real dudes do. This is content. We're not out here trying to bash nobody. We enjoying it. But what I'm trying to paint is the very people that's trying to bash us is the people that wasn't even there, and they wouldn't even have been able to survive back then. So that's why I don't respond to them, because I'm in another league over here and I'm comfortable. So that means I don't even hear what's going on over here. I don't care what's going on over here. You understand? All I care about is what's going on here and me going forward and hoping I ain't got to bust my gut. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to tell the youth. Get your life together. Don't get involved in the street. Don't come off the porch. We've been through hell. Hassan, when I first came home, there was a girl, Maylee Bellamy, Miss Mary Jane. She kept telling me, oh, Hassan Campbell, Hassan Campbell. And she's sending me videos, but I ain't even had time to look at it. But she was your biggest fan. That's why I put her out there. And she introduced me to you 5 years ago.
Shout out to her.
You know what I mean? Now, seriously. And then I watched you. I see how you move. And I said, damn, he putting two little pictures up in the corner and just telling little current affairs. You know what I mean? Let me follow that. But I could give him his props that I got that from Hassan Campbell. I'm not going to say I created this shit. I'm learning from my elders, and he's an elder in the game. And you got to give flowers where it's due. You know what I mean? So many of us learned so much about the YouTube from Hassan. But Hassan, you fall into the dark side, and there's a dark side, and they love it. But you know what? You love it too, dog. You love that dark side. And I'm even call him out. The 050, the zip with the drip, my man Zeke Black. You know what I mean? But Zeke give the knowledge. You know what I mean? That's my man. We need to get me, you, and Zeke up here. But, 10 toes down. I mean, everything that go on. You know what I mean? That's just, that's the dark side. They enjoy that. Their skin is tough for that. Sometimes they get a little tender and then they react, but it's entertainment, and we look at it as that. And long as y'all keep it, righteous like that is good. Because I love to watch y'all go, especially when you go up with the kid 050. That's my man there, because he got that energy and he be popping. And you hold your own and you stand on what you stand on. He stand on what he stand on, and the people love it. But it's content, but people feed in and say, oh, they beefing. No, they disagreeing. As men do. But at the same time, they see each other. It ain't gonna be all of that. You know what I mean? But anyway, Diddy has beat the trial. What do you think about Diddy beating the RICO and the sex trafficking and the transportation? What do you
Well,
feel about that?
I feel like the whole case was a straight up lynching, and if Diddy would have been convicted of all these charges, that would have opened up a gateway for many other celebrities, many other rappers. You telling me that if I decide to be a horny nigga and I want 20 females to come see me in 1 week or 1 month and fly them into my state, and that could become a life sentence in jail for me, that's diabolical right there. Then you setting the stage for women. Okay, whenever the feds need to open door to destroy somebody that they don't like, they just go, through your phone contacts to all the females that you mistreated. Because where we come from, I'm not going to sit up there and act like, you know, we wasn't taught to dog women out. We wasn't taught to love no women. We was taught to treat her like a prostitute. So that's what we did. And when you treat her or mistreat her, and she decides like, okay, we're gonna have a problem, and then the feds give her an open invitation, like, nah, that's a lynching right there. That's a door that needs to be closed. It's a dangerous door. I don't think that any man should have to go to jail because you done flew a female into your state and decide to set up your cameras and have a freak off. I like to pull out my camera in my hotel room and smash and look at myself smashing. No, I don't want to see another nigga smacking on a female inside the hotel room. I want to see myself. You know what I mean? Superman, them hoes. That's what I want to see. I like to see me. You know what I mean? And that right there can cost you a nice little sentence. Becca, your volume out.
Oh, okay, my bad. Y'all, put it in the comments what you think about what he just said, because you already know Hassan dropped nothing but jewels. I was blessed to have him just call me out the spirit of the moment. And, you know, he came on the show and we giving y'all this, you know, blessing to have Hassan Campbell up here. So you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls. I'm going to give him 3 seconds, Hassan. This is the way I deal with him. All right. And then we got to tell him to take that on the way out. You know what I mean? We don't even need them in here because we on some man time. But my thing right now, right, because I want to ride. My thing right now is I've been saying from the beginning of this trial, once it ended, that they have to prove the predicates. Those predicates is a mother when you're dealing with a RICO. That's what I just explained to them before you got on about how I went to the Supreme Court arguing that they had to be specific and unanimous as to which predicates that they could use to find you guilty to CCE, because the CCE is carrying double the time of the conspiracy that only carries 10 to life. Now, because I'm faced with the CCE, now I'm looking at 20 to life. And why am I looking at 20 to life? Then they said because of these 5 elements. And one of the elements, they had 5 or more people. That was one of the arguments, right? Now they said that, I'm going to tell you all this, right? They got to have 5 or more people that they saying that Diddy control, organized, or supervise. They didn't even list any names of who they was intending to use. But instead, you'll get all these people in the comments would tell you they use Cassie, they use this one, you know, they use that one. No, but what did the government say they used? The government didn't even list 5. So right there, if he would have been found guilty of RICO, he could have got off of that. But with the 5 or more people, they didn't rule in the Supreme Court yet if the 5 or more people portion was elements of the indictment. They only rule about the predicates being elements of the indictment. So therefore, they'll say they don't have to be a unanimity verdict on the 5 or more people. But then I will argue that, okay, they don't have to be a unanimous verdict on it, but tell me who the 5 people are without the YouTube rat bastards doing it. That's how I would have handled that in court. That's why I knew there was no way that he could have got found guilty for that RICO, because the RICO should have also, those predicates, they were supposed to list a specific incident and occasion that has happened in order to find that. And they didn't. Go ahead.
What do you think his grounds for appeal is going to look like in this case?
His grounds going to be for appeal that when he sent the money to send them there, he sent them there because they was a lover and they was in a relationship. You understand? Or they was in a relationship, or what they call nowadays in 2025 a situationship, where they had these male escorts in this situationship. So with the male escorts being involved, it's just as innocent as you flying your girl to come to you because you're at a convention in Utah. But if you and your girl like to also have a male escort, and the escort is, as we say on the street, another word for prostitution, but escorts are legal in America. So for you to hire an escort and pay for an escort to come to your hotel to bang your wife is just as equivalent for you to call a plumber to come to your new house in a whole nother state, pay his fare, and have him bang out your pipes. You see what I'm saying? That's how simple this is. But this is them trying to, like you said, Hans, they trying to bring yesterday's problem. You understand? They're trying to bring yesterday's lifestyle into today's law. This was the law in America on the streets, that people treated people just like, you know, not everybody, but, you know, where we on the street. You know what I mean? They're even in middle class, even in upper class. Everybody treated everybody like that, because back then it was all about looking out for self. And that's why we where we at now in America, why you have the Honorable Donald Trump in office, because what he's doing is he's looking out for the ones that supported him. You ride with me, I ride with you. That's gangster. And that's a president talking like that? I don't agree with a lot of his policies. Let's get that straight. But just for him to stand on what he stand on, he was the first one to go in Washington and tell them, I don't care about the other party. All I care about is my party, my people that voted for me, my constituents. And he won over the constituents. And even the constituents is mad at some of the things he's doing. So don't think that I'm sitting here defending them. I'm just letting it know like it is. And now we're going to ride back to that. And this way you come in, Haas, that Trump went through, the President Donald Trump, Honorable Donald Trump, went through the same situation that Diddy went through, so he knows how it feels. That's the same man that just freed Larry Hoover, who they didn't want him to touch. If Tukey was alive, he would free Tukey. Because he's his own man. He don't let the party tell him what to do. He do what his heart tell him to do. And to me, only me, not you YouTube watchers and loyal subscribers, I appreciate you and you rat bastards. Just know that I'm talking about me. I was in jail for life with no chance of parole because of the crack laws that was put out back in 1992. That President Joe Biden signed in, that put together and spearheaded, and then Bill Clinton signed off on it. Bill Clinton has since cried and apologized for taking 26 years of my life from me. I love Bill Clinton because he stood on what it is. He said, man, I made a mistake, but it cost you 26 years in federal prison. I could be bitter and say I'm mad I didn't know, but that man told me straight up, yo, I'm human. I made a mistake. I signed a bill that screwed the community, the black community's lives off, and he cried for it, but Biden never even acknowledged it. He just had a chance to fix it. The Honorable Donald Trump had nothing to do with it, went in there and started releasing us. Welcome home, Prince. Welcome home, Akbar. Welcome home, Little Dirk's father. You understand? Welcome home, Antonio White. I could keep going on all day and firing my gun. So how could I sit here and not be loyal to a man that freed me when another man captured me? Like I told my prosecutor when I came home, listen, right? Let's ride, House. I'm gonna tell you how gangster it is, right? I'm gonna tell you how gangster. I'm not gonna take you off. I want you to see. I want to see your face. When I went to trial, they asked me if I had anything I wanted to say in my defense, and that's the part where you gravel. You know what that is. I had a hard childhood. Life was hard. My mother beat me. My father stabbed me. I jumped off a building. I got stabbed. I got shot. And you run all that crap. I just told the judge straight up, y'all. My request is, can you send me someplace closer to home so I could further my education, so I could better myself, so that once I'm released, I could be a better family man to my children and my family and to society. The prosecutor jumped up and said, oh, Your Honor, he's a scumbag. He's the worst that ever came into the earth. If you let him out 30 years from now, they got spaceships, he'll find out a way to break the law to steal spaceships. This is what, but yo, it's in my transcript, 93 F3D. I'm giving you my case. You know what I mean? So when he said that, now they walking me back to the ballpen, but he's in front of me and he see me behind him, right? So as I'm walking down the hallway behind him, this dude is sitting here, check it out. He's walking with this little cocky little walk. He got these little high waters on with the hard bottom shoes. And we didn't even wear them when we was out there unless we was going to a club or a party or an event. But this way he's dressing in the courtroom. So I'm walking behind him. I'm in my green jumpsuit. I'm handcuffed. I'm shackled to my waist. And he's sitting there and he stopped to drink some water and he looked back at me and he gave me a smug look like, nigga, you through. You know what I mean? So me and him had a beef, man. You know what I mean? He just called me a scumbag, said my life wouldn't amount to nothing. That my life was a waste is what he said on the record. Go look it up.
Cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. What?
Fresh out the can of 26. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, make an audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horning uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the